Hello everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing some games from the Shogi Harbor Discord server that I've put in this neat little study here on Lee Shogi. Now, this first game was between Mystia, 4Q, and Jack-o'-lantern, 2Q. And it was in the 22 Showdown tournament in the 22-series. Okay, so the game goes ahead and immediately starts in a weird way that I definitely could complain for a very long time about. For the most part, I would definitely recommend just going ahead and pushing your pawn. Especially since if we're playing this, we're already kind of telling our opponent one thing, and that thing is that we're aiming to play Irisha. This is because we are cutting off this line, and now however we're gonna do out the silver, I mean maybe like so, is going to turn into some kind of rapid advantage silver, or reclining silver, all of which is pretty standard for Ibisha. Are we guaranteed to play Ibisha? No. But are we gaining more by making this move than we would be by this move, or this move, or, even this move? No, probably not. We're not really gaining all that much more. So, I'd recommend not playing this as your first move and find something more standard. Okay? Like this. This is a good first move. As a consequence of this silver moving up so early, we immediately wind up continuing to up silver to the middle. And maybe some kind of central rook, who knows. Okay, well, we are decided on static rook. And immediately we wind up with the first mistake of the game. And the reason that this is a mistake is actually pretty simple. Goji can just go ahead and trade the bishops, gaining a tempo in doing so. Maybe we want to make a shape like this, but doing so wouldn't necessarily be a big improvement for us. And for the most part, we're gonna wind up just moving the gold back anyway, which means that our opponent won a tempo. That means we're at least not sente anymore, and hey, giving up a tempo or two in the opening is really not what we want to be doing. Okay. So, if we really want to, aim for some shape like this, or this, maybe going ahead and pushing the pawn first would be a bit more natural. Yeah, I don't love this shape, but this is the consequence of moving the silver up this early. We're having to develop our pieces to react to our own silver, rather than reacting to what our opponent is doing, or what our pieces actually want to be doing. Okay. That said, the opponent doesn't go ahead and trade bishops here, which would be winning tempo, and also, I feel like this is not the best move order to go ahead and castle in. If we do just want to focus on castling, I think moving the here first would be maybe a bit better. And my concern with going here is, say we continue in this fashion, all of a sudden silver's kind of awkward. And this isn't such a bad castle. In fact, this is a normal castle for bishop exchange. Relatively normal, at least. But, there are some weaknesses here, particularly this diagonal is open. Definitely would not normally be open. And, well, a knight is not very likely to wind up in Sunday's hand anytime soon. Should it happen, it would be very, very dangerous. Okay. So, in response to this, Sunday fixes the problem of the bishop trade losing a tempo. And, well, the bishop is blocked as a result of it. Okay, Gote goes ahead and continues castling. And I don't know, this kind of rapid Yagura, it is a fast way of making Yagura where you're technically saving one move, is very risky except for in a few specific positions, and here we're only barely okay. I don't know if this is how I would like the castle, and I think rapid Yagura was maybe not the best choice. Oh, the silver advances up this way, though not entirely sure. I guess we're putting the bishop behind it and attacking here. That way we're able to use this bishop rather than having it sit behind the silver. Okay, pawn push, pawn push. Bishop relieves itself of its duty of sitting behind a silver. And now both bishops are participating in the game, this one. Still quite better. Making a pin. Oh, good. In this position, the silver is pinned, but there's really not any threat. I think we should just go ahead and castle. The engine also suggests moves like this, even this. It's all okay. Even this is an engine move, though I really wasn't very keen on playing this myself, looking at its position. Well, castling is the most natural, maybe. But, this move that was played in the game, I really disagree with it. And it feels like we're recanting on this first silver move, because we moved up this silver early, saying, I'm going to move this silver out and start making value with this silver. And not only that, I'm going to prove that using this silver is more valuable than activating one of my major pieces. And now, 25 moves into the game. We've moved the silver 4 times out of 13 moves that we've had as Sante. And the 4th move is going backwards. If we had played a more natural move order, the silver could have gone here and here. And then we would also have 2 more moves to castle with. This is a loss of at least 2 moves, if not more, positionally speaking. Okay. They also continues to castle. And we said some about castling until this moment when Sente goes a little bit crazy. I saw this move when I was reviewing the game, and I initially marked it as a mistake, and I've actually backed down a little bit. I've called it an inaccuracy, and that's because there is a plan behind this move. We're not just chasing this bishop like I was concerned about. But the plan is not the best plan, though practically Sante makes it work in quite an interesting way. Okay. This is also all according to plan, though I still thought maybe that this would be a way to go. Yeah, it's dangerous. There's an open file here, and I don't know, technically this pawn is hanging. So, Gute castles? This is a possibility. Not played in the game. Interesting idea that we're, just making a castle out of this. It's not actually an awful shape. It's kind of okay. Still would rather be Gote. Got that nice Yagura. Okay, rook comes over instead. And now we're seeing some kind of freestyle opposing rook. It's crazy. Okay, this bishop comes back. And this is a loss of tempo because our bishop gets chased back. Pawn push, and now we are starting this fight on the left side. And I like to ask everyone who is looking at this position and say, you've got to evaluate this. I'm watching this game, I'm playing this game, whatever. Is Sende's king more or less safe than Gote's king? And the answer should be, well, less the closest thing we have to a castle is this little clip shape all the way up here. 2 files away from our king. And we have this... Sorry, 2 ranks away from our king. We have this gold over here that's 2 files away from our king, and... Yes, maybe it's protecting some important squares. Not much. This is a very strong castle. This king is safe. We're fighting on the same side of the board as this king, the unsafe king. If anything goes wrong for Sunday here, the game will be over on the spot. Okay. And as insane as this position is, I don't know if it will continue to do so by true or not right now. Let me check. Yes, the engine completely misevaluates this capture. Everything else that it correctly evaluates is losing, and if I go ahead and play this capture, it no longer seems to think that it's a good move. But if we go back, it is convinced that capturing this pawn is completely plus 99, unrecoverably winning for Sente. Go ahead and capture the pawn and says, oh wait, no, never mind. Changes its evaluation by more than 100 points and says, yeah, okay, Sante's losing here. Why? Because this rook gets traced back and trapped. So instead, the move played in the game is this pawn drop. So pawn sacrifice again, rook captures, and silver drop. No, this actually doesn't work. And there's a really beautiful move that Gote can use to win the game right now. So, if there's any point you want to pause and try and find a move, now would be the time to do it. If you can find Gote's winning move here, that'd be great. And maybe they'll cheat by looking at the notation. Alright, if you found it, then thumbs up. If you didn't, then well, maybe you'll find it next time. The move played in the game is backing off the rook, which I marked as a blunder because it really is. Best move in this position is this move. Yes, it's a silver sacrifice. Because after captures and captures and captures, we've lost a silver. But that's all we've lost. And we'll find very quickly that this king is alone and afraid. And it's starting to get cold. There's gonna be a token here, a rook here. There is nowhere to go. There is no fire to light. And we are going to slowly freeze long before we can make any attack on this king. Some more fighting happens, and here there was also a more precise move. I think that this was a little bit better. We're attacking here with multiple pieces, and it's actually 2 threats at once because we're attacking this rook too. It's quite nice. We're gonna break through even. Okay, so instead the move played was to go back and let us defend it. So now a token set followed by silver promotion and more fighting. And we've ended up actually getting a token here, which is kind of crazy. Somehow Sente is still making some progress. And we can win this silver. Okay. Here. And there's another important decision here, because this bishop's hanging and it really doesn't have very many good squares, but the engine actually suggests dropping a knight here to block off this rook. And what was played in the game is definitely inaccurate. It's this token moving over. Why is it inaccurate to move over this token? Well, this token wants to be here. It doesn't. Well, we can't move it there right away, obviously. But the game is happening over here. This is where we want our pieces to be. And moving away from there is a loss of time. We also want this file to be cleared of pieces so that our rook can walk up here and start attacking. So how do we go about that? By backing up this bishop. And this is a very practical move. It's not really any worse than this weird engine knight drop, even according to the engine. And it's gonna pick up the pawn, open up the rook. We're quite happy with all that. And Gucci definitely went wrong here. I'm not entirely sure what this knight drop was doing. I mean, I guess maybe we're making a token here. It's very unclear to me. It's important to know that I guess there's some trap that if you take the pawn, all of a sudden this knight sacrifice. Well, maybe we shouldn't take with that gold, take with this one instead. And it's not much better. This king is going to get checkmated. There's a rook. Yeah, not happy with this. I bet you the engine, yeah, minus 12. Okay. So, maybe it's some kind of crap this knight drop. I mean, it's also, yeah, maybe we want to make a token here. It doesn't feel like the best move though, and the actual best move is to bring this rook over, which is dining to rook. It's quite strong. Maybe we can even take this in some universe. Probably not anytime soon. Sacrificing the rook is a bad idea. Okay, so knight drop is met with knight drop. Move on. And then token is made, and then after this token sack, we go ahead and sack the rook for the bishop, which I think is not the best move. And we drop the bishop in. They don't like this bishop drop. I think it's completely the wrong idea. If we want to justify this bishop drop, it has to be attacking this king somehow. Because we're very near to being in a checkmating race endgame. And this lance here is our hostage piece. You want to be attacking here. You don't want to be attacking here. So we trade some stuff off, and yeah. Earlier, this inaccurate token move meant the token is going here, and then here, and then here. It took 3 moves to do what it could have done in 1. Oh. Okay. So now gold comes up, horse comes here, and this silver drop. This is wrong. Well, if we're not in an endgame already, which I would honestly say this is an endgame, very early endgame, because we're not, actively checkmating yet. Yeah, we can't be putting a piece from hand over here. It's not really defending anything. Maybe it's over defending this gold, but over defending this gold is not so useful. We want this gold out of our way anyway, so that our rook can become active. In fact, moving that gold might even be a good move here. Okay, bishop comes up. We go at it with gold. Now the bishop moves. Okay. These bishops are both promoted, they're both horses, and they're both in Sunday's camp. So we have 2 promoted big pieces in Sunday's camp, and neither one of them has any route to attack Sunday's king. These pieces are not actually nearly as good as they sound like they should be, because 2 promoted major pieces is a really great power to have if they're able to attack the king, which they're not. I did not mean to move that. Okay. Right, whoops. Best move. Silver comes back. I may need to try to create an escape route for the king. I wasn't quite sure what the idea is here. Token comes over. Alright, maybe we want to use it in the attack. Can't complain. Horse comes back, king comes up, some fighting happens here. There's a lance drop. This is a good move, we're attacking. Pawn drop is necessary. It's bottom pawn, very strong. So we gotta capture, and we gotta capture this pawn. I don't know if I love capturing this pawn, but I guess we're attacking the horse. It's not terrible. Okay. There's a check here. Now, obviously we can't take this over. If we do, this horse comes here. It's threatening checkmate. And once again, it's getting very cold. We don't like this. Instead, we go here and we ask a question. We say, what is the silver doing? The silver is heavy. It's not a very good piece. Yeah, it's taking these squares away from the king, but if there's nobody else there to help attack those squares, it is just a sad little lost piece. Okay. Horse goes back, presumably to save itself from the choking. Maybe this is an alternative? Keep toking top. And this token comes back, which I don't know. The idea is that now the silver is well and truly hanging, or maybe slowing down a little bit. I don't know if it's really the right choice in this position, but I don't also know that it's wrong. I think that this obviously is more important than this. Tech game continues, and now it's becoming more clear that there's one plan for each side. It's impasse. So we attack, and immediately Gote blunders. Because if we're considering impasse, we just lost 3 points. And now, if it turns into an impasse at this point, it's Sente who will be playing for the win. Take bishop drop, we come out, and we wind up picking up a pawn. That is a point for impasse, so maybe it's not wrong. I don't see a way that we could have really have stopped this cake from entering anymore. Hit, so good job, making sure the king enters. Just getting a little material here, maybe this is not actually really necessary. And this book move, dragon, I mean, it's creative, sure, I even wrote very creative over here, but practically speaking, it's not going to do anything. I mean, this king is not going to be in any trouble anytime soon. They make a king just blocking this orca. And all of a sudden, this king is being stared down by 2 different dragons, and neither of them can touch him because of the pawns. It becomes more and more clear that this is impasse. So, the king steadily advances up to here, and if we go ahead and count what the points will be, when the king gets to the end, and this king gets to the end, and all the pieces are stacked up, well, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's be nice and say 8, 9. Sente wins. Okay. And even if those exact pieces aren't the ones that are able to get in, Sente could take this, and use those to get more points. Even this, and then all of a sudden you're in the 30s. Sente wins if this is impasse. But there is still a way for Sente to lose in this position, which is to capture this knight. In fact, I think this knight is quite a brilliant check played by Gote. Okay, so what that did is it opened up the horse which had been previously blocked, and this king here is completely trapped. This is checkmate. And Gote wins the game in something of a comical manner. Okay, and Then is game 2 between Savillavita and Skoltan Eve, which starts in a normal way. We're seeing Evisha. And here, this is looking like some kind of bishop exchange. Not from Luthia. Captures. And... yes, it would become a bishop exchange opening in some order, maybe like this. Maybe a more modern order. But here we're going right for some kind of bogey, no. The bishop in place, I don't see much of a future for it. A pawn pushes. Go ahead and go through the colds up. And now this bishop comes up at this timing. And quite honestly, there's a better move here. We can go ahead and trade the bishops and then move up the silver. Because if they trade the pawns, we have this fork. There's no capture here because the rook is defending the gold. And, well, this would be a very good position for Sunday. And because of this, let's say silver comes up. Silver comes up, and this will become a pretty standard bishop exchange game. I mean, we're already playing bogeying. Maybe we committed to that too early. Pushes the edge. Silver comes up, and now we trade. Knight takes. We have a trade here of the pawns. So, Gote managed a pawn trade in front of the rook. And that means Gote might be slightly better. It's also important to note that this bogeying is attacking into this shape of the silver and gold, which is known for defending very well against bogeying of the silver and gold horizontal like that. I mean, the pawn is redropped. Well, maybe this is slightly better to keep the pawn in hand. Okay, rook goes back. And this move is just a mistake. If you want to buy the right move here, you can take a second to do so. In the game that we've played was this. Which is also absolutely okay. There's a lot of good moves, by the way. But the most immediate advantage is right here. You just promote the bishop. Maybe there's someone tapped like this, but this all seems a bit unpleasant to play as Sunday. Sunday's responses makes things a bit worse though. And with the continues to calmly develop though, I think now this played definitely the right move would be to go here immediately. Definitely. Okay. So we get some more pawn stuff going on, and now this bishop comes out. And finally this rook moves. Well, this bishop is very strong, obviously. And now we go ahead and chase the horse, but this might not be the best way to go about it. The horse can come right back into the position. Gold moves over, presumably to attack the horse again, but now this is a big weakness. And, well, we attack the dragon. But, there's a problem here. This is a hanging piece, the dragon. Should just capture this instead. The dragon retreats. Gold moves over. Pawn is dropped. Bishop is dropped. Pawn push. And very, very slowly, position becomes decided by the power of the attacking pieces. And in this position, Sate went ahead and resigned. But something to note is that this is the power of when one side is attacking the king and the other side has yet to make a significant breakthrough. Very, very clean game by Savillavita. Okay, last but not least, we have a game between Moonsai and Tulip. Tulip and Moonsai. This is from 22 Masters, the previous game is from 22 Chosu. And we start with a central rook opening, specifically. Careful central rook, Gokigen central rook. Or, as one might say, Gokigen Nakabisha. However, Zote is doing something a bit odd here, as she hasn't opened this bishop yet. Eventually decides I'll miss it. I just feel like it's an interesting move for her. Maybe even this could be considered in the future, I don't know. Okay, king moves up, and we keep moving as, developing pretty naturally. This has all been very natural moves so far. Here, we start reaching some interesting situations. In fact, this move is a mistake, maybe even a blunder by Moonside, because it neglects that this bishop is completely alone on the edge, and there's a strong edge attack here for Sunday. Now, you would probably go ahead and counterattack rather than just hanging out and letting the edge fall apart. And in this situation, there's a brilliant move where Sente just ignores the breakthrough of this pawn because this attack is more powerful. Bishop comes in to try and fix things. We simply save the gold. Eventually the bishop has to leave, and just like that, it's a very good position for Sente. Though, there's still a game to play. Okay. Instead, we go ahead and move the gold prematurely, and that gives time to Sente to make this important move, fixing the position. Okay. However, there was a better move for Sente, which was to sacrifice a pawn here. And sacrifice a pawn here. After captures, there's this brilliant pawn sacrifice in the middle. But if you capture it right away, there will be a bishop play and a breakthrough of the rook. This is a better position for Gote, if not winning. Obviously we can't just capture this with silver. It's just losing material outright, and the resulting position will be no better. And if we say ignore it and try to go with the edge attack now, the bishop will go ahead and capture here. And now the edge is no longer a problem because this attack is too important, especially now at this level here. Yep. So instead, this was played instead. Slightly worse option. We go ahead and continue castling. Rook comes back. And here I think this was somewhat inaccurate. The rook comes over to fight on the third file, but there was some more stuff going on. Something like this is suggested by the engine, a little crazy. And the idea is that in this situation, we can do whatever this is. Apparently, holding the middle like this will be enough to get some kind of good position according to the engine. But yes, as I wrote on the study, an absolute engine nonsense. Okay. The fight happens here, but instead of sacrificing the pawn in this line, Sente should have gone ahead and attacked here first. The variations are all very similar to those from the previous lines. The rook breaks through like so. Well, it doesn't break through, but it opened up a little bit. And now a fight starts over here. This pawn drop will try and win some material, get a copy. But Sente's attack is quite critical. Though, in this position, the silver going back to attack the bishop is actually a blunder. And that's because there's a brilliant move for Gote moving the rook over and ignoring that the bishop is hanging. Also powerful is actually just defending this knight calmly, because if the bishop is captured, the attack here is going to be way too strong. This king is all alone. Okay. Instead, Gote plays this counterattack, which is a very similar idea, but not quite enough. Though, I believe the position is still slightly better for Gote. A trade happens here, and in this position, Gote makes a big mistake, because Gote has enough time to go ahead and save the rook, and then use the rook in the attack. But Gote chooses to abandon the rook and just go after the gold. In this case, the rook will become a very important attacker against this high Mino. The silver attacks, and in this position we see a nice kobo, an attacking defending move, and this move is a blunder. It's not the best defense at all, and there was a much better defense of just moving the gold up. Attacking, by the way, would not quite be good enough. And you must unpromote. The line where you promote instead actually loses on the spot. Okay. So, there was a mistake here by Sante as well. Instead of capturing the silver and trying to defend over here, Sante can go ahead and try and make it attack. I believe this was the right move, yuck. And the position is equal. However, this attack was not the best way forward. Simply taking the pawn was better. Okay. And we go ahead and sacrifice the horse here, and capture the lance in the corner. Now, a desperate attack begins because this king is nearly trapped already. But the attack is not quite enough. And, well, it comes to an end. In fact, this move was not the best, and there's a slightly faster checkmate with this knight sacrifice. Like so. The line in the game goes like this, and is a bit longer than the best line. All in all, a very nice game by Moonsai with a very clean ending, and some very nice moments by both sides. There was some important tension in the middle that could have been resolved differently, and would have led to other exciting fights. I think all three of these games have been good example games from the TTSeries that's been going on, and I think it's a good tournament to keep up with if you want to watch some fun games. Thank you all for joining.